Greetings and welcome to my channel, dear viewers. I hope you're having a great day. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video. Unusual details regarding HGTV star Drew Scott's marriage. Those who have seen Drew Scott and Linda Phan's marriage up close have been inspired. Drew and Linda have been the perfect couple when it comes to synergizing work life and personal life. The Property Brothers, another sibling, JD in 2019, Scott told Us Weekly. The two have demonstrated that they are committed to one another after more than 10 years of dating. Their marriage hasn't always been picture perfect though. This is particularly valid for their initial encounters. To win Phan over, Drew asked her about the water she was drinking, which is a rather unimpressive way to start a conversation. Despite the unpleasant situation, Phan gave him her number. A few months later, Drew once again shown his lack of subtlety when he accompanied Phan and her friends on their first date, despite the fact that she had ended the encounter. But they remained drawn to each other because of their shared sense of humor. She even consented to live with Drew and Jonathan Scott for years since she was so interested in him. It didn't bother her. Living with them encouraged her and Drew to embrace their workaholic personalities because she worked with both of them. They bought a house together when it became too much, but their children turned it from a dream home to the chaotic mess they currently live in. Despite being couple goals, Drew and Phan's relationship has some strange elements. Linda Phan was smitten by Drew Scott with water. Linda Phan was dressed as the fashion police when Drew Scott first spotted her at Toronto Fashion Week in March 2010. In 2016, he told People she was giving out tickets for bad fashion while sporting a large police badge. The sight could not have been more seductive. He thought, oh, she's attractive. Though he wasn't sure how, he knew he wanted to speak with her. He considered his choices and decided on an unconventional tactic. My sister and I were backstage looking for pizza and having some water, and Drew came up to me and said, "Hey, where'd you get that water?" Phan recalled. Even though at the time it seemed like a terrific pickup line, Drew acknowledges that he was fortunate Phan didn't run the other way. Jokingly, "I was so smooth," he said. The fact that it worked is what counts. Drew's sense of humor and Phan's comparable eccentric personalities complemented each other well. When he first presented Phan to his twin brother and their friend Pedro, that became evident. The trio, who had been best friends since school, had a repertoire of jokes that no one else could understand. That is, until Phan entered the picture. "Who is this girl?" "She's a keeper," Jonathan Scott said in a 2017 interview with the New York Times, after she gave the punchline to one of Pedro's jokes. He went to Drew right once. Drew became aware that he was in love at that point. Their first date was the longest first date ever, according to Linda Phan. Although Linda Phan found her first date with Drew Scott to be pleasant, she felt somewhat stuck. She consented to hot chocolate and sushi when she decided to go out with him. After that, she wanted to go to meet up with some friends. She said to People, "I decided to go to this party and duck out." Scott wasn't finished though. Drew said, "Oh, I'll come." And in my head I thought, "I didn't really invite you, but sure," she added. His ability to carry a tune saved the evening, and that's how Phan and Scott jumped on what she called the longest first date ever. She stated, "He picked up the microphone, and that was all he had to do." She was captivated by his performance of "I'm on a Boat," a song by The Lonely Island. When Scott said, "I have no shame," he was aware that he was a little annoying, but they had to make the most of their time together because he wouldn't be in town for long. However, luck was on their side. Following a fantastic, although lengthy, first date, Phan informed Scott that she would be attending a bachelorette party in Las Vegas, where he resided. It wasn't as good on their second date. "I held Linda's hair because she got sick," he stated in 2021 on their At Home with Linda and Drew Scott podcast. Drew and Jonathan Scott welcomed Linda Phan into their home. Following 2 years of dating, Drew Scott and Linda Phan made the decision to consolidate their possessions under one roof in order to advance their love. Jonathan Scott, however, lived under that roof and had no intention of leaving his life behind in order to allow his brother to turn their Las Vegas home into his romantic paradise. People were always like, "Isn't that weird?" But there's an ease to it, Phan stated to People. Phan was already employed at Scott Brothers Entertainment by that point. Their living circumstances make things easier in that regard. You wake up and you go to work. It's nice and really convenient to be able to have meetings with the people you live with, she explained. That didn't change for 4 years until Jonathan met Jacinta Kuznetsov, his now ex-girlfriend, in 2016. Phan had pleasant memories of those years. Jonathan was more than just her boyfriend's brother to her. In addition, he was her co-worker and buddy. But after a while, she and Drew yearned for a space of their own where they could develop their bond outside of work. It was fun for the first few years, and then it's like, "I think we need our alone time," she said on the At Home with Linda and Drew Scott segment. In 2017, a few months after becoming engaged, Drew and Phan purchased a house in Los Angeles. Jonathan, however, was unable to leave. He bought the house next door to Drew and Phan in 2019. Following their marriage, Drew Scott and Linda Phan's work, in addition to their shared love of karaoke and sense of humor, Drew Scott and Linda Phan also have a need to work all day. "My girlfriend and I are both workaholics. We love what we do and that we can work side by side," Drew said in a 2013 interview with Your Tango prior to getting married. In addition to being married in 2018, they stayed steadfastly committed to their careers. What does Phan and Drew's novel depict as a romantic date? "We took a last-minute vacation to Paris, where we spent the evenings at charming cafes." The couple's love of work allowed them to live with Jonathan Scott for many years. "Definitely because we all worked together, it made it easier. And when we were still okay with working all the freaking time, it makes it easier," Phan explained in the 2021 episode of their podcast, describing their love of working away at their computers. "Anyone close to us knows that we're guilty of turning everything, even our honeymoon lull, into a big group thing," Drew captioned a 2018 Instagram post. Recognizing their tendency, Drew and Phan always make sure they have time alone to nurture their relationship. Over time, they improved their understanding of the distinction between their private and professional lives. Linda Phan and Drew Scott don't mind an untidy house. Although Drew Scott may earn a living by turning dilapidated homes into dream homes, his own house doesn't look like that anymore. Scott and Linda Phan expanded their family in May 2022, and their home has been a mess ever since. Prior to the arrival of their son Parker, the couple did everything they could to make Phan's craft room the perfect nursery for him. "And then we realized very quickly that he takes over the whole house," he told People in 2023. "It's a lovely mess," he added, adding that Phan and Scott, who battled infertility for 2 years prior to having their son, don't mind it. "Pretty much the house is messier than ever," he said, adding that his problems conceiving swept the rug from under their feet, because the couple had dreamed about having children long before they were married. "When you finally finish cleaning but the house is messy 5 seconds later," Scott wrote in an Instagram video featuring Parker in June 2023, mocking his toddler's ability to ruin their living room in a matter of seconds. Scott also mentioned how quickly his promise to maintain a tidy home after parenthood was broken, writing, "A year ago, I said I'd keep Parker's play area clean. However," he wrote, "now." The ultra-rare images of son Parker by Drew Scott and Linda Phan display the special ability he's mastered. These brand new, adorable pictures show that Parker, the son of Drew Scott and Linda Phan, is undoubtedly growing up to be a kind-hearted person like his parents. "I hope everyone's 2025 is off to a great start." On January 3, Scott posted a series of adorable pictures of their kid to Instagram with the statement, "My mom hates it, it kills her, and she cries the first time you hand her to her." Joanne Scott had a plan to change all of that. "Oh, of course it does. Sometimes newborns simply say, nope, to a very significant person in their lives, which naturally saddens the adult. I was like, do we want to scar the child? Or do we want her to like you?" Drew recounted, "When my mom asked if I could just print off a bunch of pictures of my face and hang them around her crib. We're eager to find out if there are any more pictures of Joanne in the Phan Scott home, if Piper had a happy Christmas with her grandmother, or if they shed tears as they gathered around the tree. We're crossing our fingers for the former." Happy tears as Drew Scott and Linda Phan celebrate their first Christmas as a family of 4, with their 7-month-old daughter Piper. It seems that Scott's parents, Jim and Joanne Scott, joined the family of 4 in celebrating. Drew Scott is commemorating a brand new holiday tradition with his family. The 46-year-old Property Brothers star gave fans a charming look into his and wife Linda Phan's first Christmas with their 2-year-old son Parker James and their May 21-born daughter Piper. He posted a number of pictures on Instagram that captured some of the event's most adorable moments, such as the couple holding their kids in matching multicolored checkered pajamas up to their fully decked-out Christmas tree, and a picture of him and Phan kissing beneath the tree while wearing multicolored streamers. They were with his parents, Jim and Joanne Scott, who also posed beside the tree. Jim was wearing a blue button-up shirt and a blue sweater, and the two of them made a playful dance pose with one arm on their waist and one above their head while grinning at the camera. Happy tears. "Our first #Christmas as a family of 4, he wrote as the caption for the photo. Even though the festivities appeared to be picture-perfect, they did not start off well earlier this week. Drew described the incident where he nearly got decked up by his own tree in a video tour of his house in Los Angeles. He can be seen in the video with his feet protruding from beneath the tree as it begins to go over. And Linda can be seen leaping into action and embracing the tree with her entire body to keep it from falling on him. To keep informed about the best that POPLE has to offer, from captivating human interest stories to juicy celebrity news, subscribe to their free daily newsletter. "I took the stand and I was rotating the tree and it just collapsed on itself," he said. "Thankfully, Linda saved my life." The HGTV star, who co-hosts a number of successful shows with his brother Jonathan Scott, also talked about the Christmas theme, which included bows made of pastel ribbon in shades of pink and green. "We try to make a small change or add a small element every year," explains Drew. "This year, we wanted to simplify a little bit, so instead of having the thick green garland with pine cones and everything else coming up the railing, we went with these ribbons, a little classier." In order to ensure their children's safety during the season, he added that their Christmas tree is kid-friendly and features snowflakes and ornaments that are not breakable. For the record, Jonathan has so many breakable ornaments and decor pieces around his house. "With little ones, I like to ensure that I have more wood products, or even if it's a ball on the tree. It's something that, if it falls, it bounces," Drew explained. Parker's favorite part of the holiday was collecting and counting donations for the food bank. He's mastered up to 10. The pictures show little Parker helping his parents with food donations while wearing a brightly colored outfit consisting of striped green pants and a ruffled pink top. He appears very engaged and thrilled as the family of 4 donates food, and based on Scott's comments, Parker is an absolute pro at it all. In addition, his famous hair is growing out so much. Where has the time gone? He is genuinely like his parents, fashionable, giving, and sporting cool hair. In case you didn't know, Scott and Linda Phan met at a Toronto Fashion Week event in 2010, clicked right away, and were married in 2018. They revealed they were expecting another child in early 2024, and on June 5, 2024, they received their daughter Piper Ray. They had already welcomed their son Parker James, who was born in May 2022, on their 4th wedding anniversary after 12 years of marriage. Scott claimed in a rare interview with Entertainment Tonight that fatherhood unlocks a side you didn't know you had. "I have this deep love for Linda, but then, all of a sudden, that's the shallow pool. I'm not saying shallow with Linda, I love Linda, but there's a whole other depth to Linda and my love together with Parker. It's amazing just seeing his face when he looks at you, like once he started focusing in and he locks eyes with you. Oh, your heart melts. It's amazing." For those who are unaware, Scott and Linda Phan married in 2018. Baby Piper was mesmerized by Drew Scott's first Christmas as a family of 4 in honor of their daughter Piper's first Christmas. And of course, their first Christmas as parents of 2. Drew Scott and Linda Phan recently celebrated an exceptionally special Christmas by posting some priceless images and videos on Instagram. P.S. What a cute idea! Scott and his wife are shown holding one of their children in the opening shot of their carousel. The HGTV star is holding their 2-year-old son Parker, while Phan is holding their 7-month-old daughter Piper. They are all facing the Christmas tree, and the children, dressed in the cutest matching gingham pajamas, appear to be staring at all the lovely ornaments and ribbons tied around the branches. Scott wrote as the description, "Happy tears. Our first #Christmas as a family of 4." Following that, the carousel featured a cute picture of Scott and Phan sitting on the floor, wrapped in ribbon, and leaning in for a kiss. The couple seemed to be in complete bliss. Other pictures feature Scott's dad, Jim, who fans believe resembles Mr. Rogers, and Joanne. Additionally, Scott posted a selfie video of himself and Piper sitting next to a crackling fire on his Instagram story. Watch it here before it goes away. With the caption, "Piper's first Christmas by the fire, she's mesmerized." Piper is seen in the video turning toward the fire and making joyful little noises, seemingly in complete trance until she looks up at her dad, and then puts her head on his chest to feel even more comfortable while watching the flames. It is our sincere hope that Piper remained as happy and comfortable throughout the day. Last month, Drew and his twin brother Jonathan Scott disclosed that Piper did not particularly enjoy her grandmother. When Drew and his brother appeared on the Jennifer Hudson show, Drew remarked, "The first moment we hand Piper over to Jonathan, smiles and everything." He went on to say,